Roundup risks the chemical widely used on crops and even on home gardens to kill weeds. Now thousands of people are suing the company, claiming it caused their cancer.
7 Action News reporter Kim Russell spoke with a Dearborn Heights man who's also planning to file suit. Here's his story that you'll see only on 7.
When a Dearborn Heights man saw news coverage of a lawsuit that linked Roundup to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, it stopped him in his tracks. Now he's more than one of 13,000 plaintiffs suing the maker of the weed killer he says he used for years. In September 2017, Phil Corsi says he went to the doctor complaining about pain after eating. He got a diagnosis he never expected.
I had a large lymphoma that had become cancerous. It changes everything.
He and his wife say the diagnosis didn't make sense. Phil had no family history of cancer. Then he heard there was an alleged link between Roundup weed killer's chemical glyphosate and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Juries, after looking at evidence, had delivered multi-billion-dollar verdicts to several cancer victims. Phil says for decades, he used Roundup multiple times a week to kill weeds in his yard.
The chemical that has been linked to causing the B-cell lymphoma is still in that product.
There should be some kind of warnings on this for folks so other people aren't going through the same thing.
If we would have known that, he would not have bought it.
It raises the question, should you be worried? For years, farms have used plants genetically modified to survive Roundup. It allowed farmers to soak their entire fields with the weed killer to get rid of weeds. Now Roundup is in the food we eat.
You can't make sense out of science when there are proprietary interests.
Faye Hansen, an associate professor of biology at Oakland University, says she has seen numerous conflicting studies on Roundup. University of Washington researchers found exposure to glyphosate, the chemical in Roundup, raised the risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma by 41%. But other researchers found it was not dangerous. Emails revealed in the lawsuit show the maker of Roundup, Monsanto, may have ghost-written some studies.
If I were a landscaper or somebody that did lawn care, I'd be concerned.
These jurors heard the facts, and they heard about the World Health Organization identifying this as a carcinogen.
Attorney Mark Bernstein says Phil Corsi is just one of hundreds of people he is representing who developed cancer after using Roundup.
Corporations, in this case the manufacturer of Roundup, put profit ahead of people.
I know you need to make a profit, but you can't make it at the expense of people who trust the product.
The Corsis say they are lucky that Phil, as of just a few months ago, is in remission, but they live with the fear the cancer will come back.
When he goes for these scans, I pray the whole time he's having the scan that it's going to be good.
I wouldn't have wished what I went through on my worst enemy because it was terrible.
I reached out to Bayer, the company that right now owns Roundup, and it released a statement that reads in part, quote, "We have great sympathy for Mr. Corsi, but the extensive body of science on glyphosate-based herbicides over 4 decades supports the conclusion that Roundup does not cause NHL. Bayer stands behind these products and will vigorously defend them." You can read their entire statement and this story at WXYZ.com. Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
Thank you, Kim.